The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. France Parliament has just erupted. There's proper hellfire on these people. Now what for them? According to one senator who spoke in French Parliament, that France has a double standard. That let's look at Macron and Paris in general. Their democracy that they have packaged for Africa, Sahel, Mali. Then why do they choose to punish Mali, punish Burkina, punish Niger for deciding to overthrow their leaders in order to reclaim their resources? Yet, they overlook what happened in Ivory Coast when we had a constitutional coup because Alassane Ouattara decided to change the constitution to run for how many times? The same thing happened in Togo. For Nyasungbe Yadama, changed the constitution to become a president for life. And we have a ceremonial president. And you see the old man that he has even elected, that man can barely walk to talk of talk. Now look at what happened in Guinea-Conakry. Mamadou Doumbouya also decided to stage a coup. And then what did France do? They only condemn lip service. No actions. But when you go to Mali, they were quick in giving them sanctions. Why? Because this Mali one serves the interests of Africa. We saw what happened in Gabon, the coup d'etat, that it is better it's a family member who did it. I don't know if you can remember that video I made concerning that. That when it comes to these ones, France is okay. Their democracy doesn't work there. But when it got to Mali, then look at the attack that happened, the number of people that we lost. That these people or the French democracy is only working for selective people. People who are fighting for true sovereignty are the ones that we see their democracy always working against. And true independence should be something that everybody fights for. This man is practically saying that France has never been fair. They are only going after nations that do not serve their interests. A nation that rises to do things for his people. Like the Sierra Leone First Lady said, the moment you come and you start doing the right thing, they turn your country into chaos.
You humiliated the people of West Africa. Your democratic indignations to variable geometry have exhausted the people and weakened their desire of democracy. Why, after the death of Idriss Déby, did you hurry to adore his son? In a constitutional coup d'etat, why the coup in Guinea, who replaced President Alpha Condé with one former soldier of the French Foreign Legion, the Lieutenant Colonel Doumbouya, was only condemned with his lips by France. Not to mention the third term won. Unconstitutional of Alassane Ouattara in your lifelong accomplice. Why? Only the coup in Mali was sanctioned by the CDO. This blockade adds oil to the fire and only makes the population suffer. Why President Macron does not lose allows himself to convene. That was the expression used. The G5 heads of state, Sahel at the top of its skin on 1301 to force them to lend again to France. Why do you refuse to validate the United Nations investigation on the bombings by the French army? In Bounty, Mali, the 301-2021, which resulted in 120 deaths in one gathering, which was probably not that a marriage, not to mention the double game of France in Mali, because of its implicit support for the movement, rebel in northern Mali, and recently, the national movement for the liberation of Azawad, also due to the relentless promotion of the Algiers Agreement predicted without the Malian people, which corresponds nothing to his inspirations, and threatens the territorial integrity of Mali. Obviously, I don't even speak of the CFA franc and its avatar l'eco, this instrument of monetary domination of France in the region. In the face of the blockade of democratic woods, it seems that for many, the desire for independence and everything and sovereignty has replaced the desire for democracy. It is one major change. that is disrupting the dynamics in the Sahel. Obviously, for us, elected democratic, less fragile than that of its states. Reversing priorities between sovereignty and democracy disturbs us to the core. But it must be recognized that in the Sahel, in one zone where French companies are very influential, where we pay in French, and where autocrats are validated by Paris, the notion of independence, the notion of sovereignty, often takes the form of distrust of Paris. One distrust reinforced by insecurity that does not recede. For proof, 9 years ago at the beginning of the French military operation, jihadists and other entrepreneurs of violence were present on 10% of the territory, while today, nearly 90% of the territory, Malian is classified as a danger zone. In addition to the 59 French soldiers killed, to whom we must pay tribute for their commitment, it is necessary.
He cited a whole lot of things. But this message is to teach you the African one thing. Those of you who believe so much in these people, and you believe that your leaders signing security pacts with them, they are here to protect. But when the Africans hear of Europe, West, coming to do something for you, the Africans will be clapping. Have you ever sat down for once to ask yourself, at the end of the day, what do you pay? So you clap for them when they come with their lip service, like the man said. And then at the end of the day, they take your gold, they take your diamond, they take your oil, they take everything that you have. And you are the same person who will still sit here and be crying for job, crying for a better life, asking yourselves questions. We have this, we have that. Why are we still poor? Why won't you be poor when you are always clapping when people pretend to come and help you? Like the two ladies from the Sahel that met Macron and told him, Africa, we are not poor. And they should stop projecting the continent to be poor to the rest of the world. And they should also stop saying that they are coming to help Africa. Developmental aid. How can you give a continent like Africa developmental aid when in actual sense we are giving them the aid? They depend on Africa. What do they have? Nothing. Like the other EU member of parliament made it clear to the general who rose up against the Burkinabe president and all Captain Ibrahim Traore, that you claim you love the people in Africa, the Sahel. You don't love them. You love their resources. You are only pretending there's crisis because the leaders who are there right now decided to kick you out. They are not allowing you to be taking the resources that you used to get for free. So you have to create a crisis that will give you the chance to go there. He went ahead to tell them that they claim they are getting equipment from Russia to protect themselves. No. It's not to get this equipment to protect themselves from Russia. But they are getting them because of the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. So they will continue to be getting the resources that they used to get for free. So you see them say, we are democratic countries, yet you are crying of poverty. Yet you still ask yourselves, where do your resources go? You have this, you have that, yet you are poor. The Sierra Leone First Lady told you plainly that they don't control the resources. The moment you decide to control the resources, the big boss, this were her words, the big boss will appear. And they'll make sure they use the opposition. They turn your country into chaos. You will never have peace. And you need peace in order to govern. So all of us living in the democratic elected, that always boast of democracy. You always boast of democracy. You should wake up, wake up. Because Thomas Sankara said, any leader in Africa that you see the West praising, that leader has finished you. So before you see that and be proud of what your leader is doing as a democratic elected president, you should remember the words of Thomas Sankara. Remember what the Sierra Leone First Lady said. And remember what Mark, the EU Member of Parliament, confessed in EU Parliament. Before you can then decide to be celebrating the kind of leader you have as a president. Majority of us don't understand nothing about the world. All you know is you watch your football, you are done, you go to your mainstream, you listen to your party, you understand the way you are. You don't move outside of the world to know. And Captain Ibrahim Traore told us something simple, that until we are able to understand geopolitics as Africans, the youth of today, we can never fight for our total liberation. And I hope we will change, because the future depends on you and I. Nkrumah said, "Arise, Ghana youth, for your country." And that message was for all of us. He's sending a message that before Africa will be free, it is you and I, the youth, not these old men. That's why they have Agenda 2060, when they will not be there. And that was why Captain Ibrahim Traore said, how can we have Agenda 2060 when we are hungry today? They know by 2060 they won't be here. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's colonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Europe and in France.